Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir à tous. I'm Michelle Chawla. I'm the CEO of the Canada Council for the Arts. So I'd like to begin by asking those of you in the room a question. By a show of hands, who in this room has either heard of or seen the musical Come From Away? Wow. So to those who can't see the audience in the room, there are many, many, many hands up. So for the benefit of those who aren't familiar with Come From Away, it was created by two Canadian artists and is based on a true and truly Canadian story. It recounts how, on September 11, 2001, 7,000 stranded airline passengers were welcomed and taken in by the small community of Gander, Newfoundland and Labrador. The artists behind this storytelling remind us of the importance of connections across cultures and how communities can be there for one another when it matters the most. They have also created a powerful shared experience that reminds us of what it means to be human. Come From Away was a smash hit on Broadway and is currently touring the world, reaching audiences far and wide. What you may not know is that many years ago, when it was in its very early stages of development, this musical got a grant from the Canada Council for the Arts. I'm going to shift gears for a moment. In the past few years, the Canada Council has been seeing and supporting more and more creative projects that are grappling with some of our society's biggest challenges. And this illustrates how the arts have the power to create impactful changes in our societies. One of these projects is being led by the Comox Valley Art Gallery in British Columbia, and it's called Walk With Me. For context, this gallery is located in a community that has been severely impacted by drug poisoning and housing crises. Recognizing imagination as a necessary response, gallery staff worked with the local artists to record stories told by family members and frontline workers impacted by these crises. Then, members of the public, community leaders, and storytellers would gather together and go on story walks through their neighborhood, listening to these recordings and collectively imagining new ways forward for their community. With this project, the Comox Valley Art Gallery is inspiring others to reimagine how galleries and other traditional art spaces can help transform communities for the better. And with a grant from the Canada Council, they're going to be able to share this project more widely. Je voudrais maintenant vous raconter une dernière histoire. Depuis de nombreuses années, le Conseil des arts s'est engagé à soutenir les arts et les cultures autochtones dans l'esprit de la souveraineté et de l'autodétermination. Bien que nous ayons encore un long chemin à parcourir pour rattraper les décennies de marginalisation des artistes et des communautés autochtones, notre travail évolue dans une direction positive. In particular, through relationship building with the Inuit Art Foundation, the Government of Yukon, and the Government of the Northwest Territories, we have co-developed several initiatives. They include arts funding programs that can be delivered on the ground to address the diverse and unique priorities and needs identified by local northern communities, such as capacity building and small-scale artistic projects. This approach, which is based on models of collaboration and cooperation, consciously is seeding our decision-making authorities by empowering northern communities and has helped us at the Canada Council realize that we can often do more and do better by working with others. These programs are reaching many, many communities and are helping them to thrive and to share their experiences of the world with the world. So the projects I just described represent just a small fraction of the thousands of projects that the Canada Council for the Arts support each year. As a federal funder, we support the entire arts ecosystem. And in this ecosystem, there are three main components. There's the artists that create the art organizations that provide platforms for art to reach art-goers, and Canadian publics, like all of us, who go out and participate and experience the arts. The Canada Council's funding helps ensure that arts organizations remain cornerstones in their community, making it possible for Canadians to experience great art from coast to coast to coast. Our funding also helps ensure that artists are able to create the next great novel, the dance performance, the art exhibit, play, or concert. Without them, there would be no great art. This has always been a delicate and symbiotic relationship between artists, arts organizations, and audiences, but now this relationship has been disrupted. The last few years drastically changed how people consume art and culture, and it has become a lot harder to draw people out of the comfort of their homes to experience the arts live and in person. This has led to lower revenues across the sector, which would be challenging enough on its own. But now it also costs more for artists to create art, for arts organizations to present it, and for Canadian publics to experience it. And this combination of lowered revenues and higher costs are creating an unsustainable imbalance in our ecosystem. As a result, we see many arts organizations that are closing their doors and many artists that are leaving the arts sector. So without ongoing, critical, sustainable funding for the arts, we need to consider what impacts will be on our regions, on our cities, and on our communities. What will this mean for our future? With the wars and the hate and the division that we're seeing in our world right now, there has never been a more urgent need for the arts. We need more beauty, more conversation, more connection. I'm going to go back to my first question, and I'm going to quote a few lyrics from Come From Away. You are here at the end of a moment, at the end of the world. You are here on the edge of the ocean where the story ends. So I want to leave you with one final question. Instead of letting the story end, where do we want the story to go? And I, for one, know that we need the arts to help tell our stories, to remind ourselves of our shared humanity, and to collectively build a vision for the future. Thank you. Merci.